really good feedback from my previous video about because I'm happy. That was the title, because I'm happy. Eliminating toxic and negative people from your life, identifying and eliminating or getting rid of. The title was something like that. But anyway, so I received a few inbox questions on my Facebook and a few requests. And one of the requests, well, actually 3 people kind of requested along the same lines that I addressed, loving yourself and entering into relationships and things like that. So today's video is going to be about self-love before entering into a relationship. So I came up with like 5 questions to ask yourself before you get into a relationship, especially if you've been in multiple relationships, or if you're an adult and you've had your share of relationships. By the time you're 25 to 30, you probably have had a broken heart or two. I'm going to share with you some of, and this is my opinion. Yes, I put on the glasses because I have to read what what I wrote down. So I wrote down a self-love definition, or what I believe self-love is, and some of the information that I found on the web. And what I found was self-love is a regard for oneself, one's own well-being, happiness, and interest, to believe that you are a worthy and valuable person. That says a lot. To believe, you have to believe. So to believe that you are valuable, to believe that you are worthy, that's really important. And to have regard for your own interest, happiness, and well-being. So that's self-love. Something that I found on the internet, it said what self-love is not is, it said loving yourself is not a disregard for loving others. And so I expounded on that, and I said you should be able to do both. You should be able to love yourself and love your significant other as well. And if loving your significant other or loving anyone else means that you can't be loving towards yourself, you can't love yourself, then the relationship is not healthy, because you should never have to choose between loving yourself and loving someone else. Tamia had a song called Me, and in the record she says, I picked her and her name is Me. So she said, if I have to choose between the two, then baby, I choose me. And I feel her on that, because I'm not choosing. You can't love anyone more than you love yourself. That's a fallacy. It just doesn't work. So anyway, let's move on, because I want this to be a quick video. So here are the 5 questions I said that you should ask yourself before falling in love. Oh, so cute. Before falling in love or engaging yourself in a relationship, here are 5 questions I think you should ask yourself. Number 1, do I know who I am, what I feel, and what I want or need for myself in life? I wrote that I believe many people have never taken the time to figure out who they are, as opposed to accepting the labels that others have placed on them. And I think that knowing who you are in this world, where you stand, what you have to offer, what you feel, what you believe, where you want to go, your dreams, aspirations, all of those things need to be developed before you enter into a relationship. Too many times we try to develop those things in the process of being with someone. Self-identification, knowing who you are, you need to know that before you try to get to know someone else. It's not going to work too well. So do you know who you are, what you feel, what you want and need for yourself in this life? Number 2, do you practice good self-care? This is very important. Good self-care are things like getting good rest at night, having healthy social interactions, so having good friends and not people who bring a lot of drama into your life, exercising and eating healthy, your spirituality, where do you stand in that? Being strong in whatever it is you believe in, having a healthy relationship with your creator, that's very important. it boils down to mindfulness about taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So, do you practice good self-care? If you do not, that is a place to start. Before you enter into a relationship and are expected to care for and love someone else, you need to care for and love yourself. Before you can help someone else with where they stand spiritually or guide them spiritually, if you're a Christian, you believe that, the man is to guide his family and his wife, then, you need to know where you stand. And if you don't have a relationship with God or your creator, whatever it is that you believe, then how can you enter into a relationship and try to guide someone else? It's like the blind leading the blind, sheep following sheep. So, question number 3. Do I make myself and my needs a priority? You have to make yourself a priority in this world. It's okay to be giving. It's okay to be nice. It's okay to look out for others and hold them down and be there for them. But first, you have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of you, you can't really help anyone take care of themselves. When you break down, then what? They're going to figure it out. So let them figure it out now. Why, if it comes between taking care of you and looking out for somebody else, take care of you. Because they'll figure it out. They're going to take care of them. So, do you make yourself a priority? How are you going to bring someone else into your life and make them a priority and not yourself? It's called codependency. You don't want a codependent relationship. You want a mutual relationship. You want someone who's taking care of themselves. You're taking care of yourself, and then y'all can come together and have something beautiful. But if you're not taking care of yourself, people generally treat you according to the standard that you set, and people will look at the fact that you don't care very much for yourself. You don't, practice good personal self-care. You don't make yourself a priority. It's all about everybody else, and why would they make you a priority? Question number 4, which is very important. Have you forgiven others and yourself for past hurts and disappointments? Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory as to why. I think a lot of times people lie about that one, though. They're like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm past that. That was years ago. I don't care about anything that happened. I've forgiven them and moved on. But they're still carrying around resentment. And they go jump into another relationship, or they get married and they're still, taking digs at the last person, or taking digs at their ex, or, former spouse or whatever. It's ridiculous. If you have forgiven yourself and that person and you've moved on, you've engaged in a relationship, you are interested in a relationship, or you're married, you should not be doing any of that if you've really moved on. Some people say, well, they didn't do this, and it's the principle, and they owe me this, or they owe me that. And no, if you've moved on, you don't care about none of that. You could care less. And that's the truth. When you are happy and you have forgiven yourself and you have moved on from a situation, you leave all of that baggage where it's at. You stop fighting the battles because you win the war by forgiving, living, let live, and moving on. So if you answer that question, and you really need to think over the relationships, if somebody can say somebody's name and you roll your eyes and you're like, child, that fool, that scrub, that dog, that deadbeat, or guys, y'all be like that, garden tool or whatever. I'm gonna need you to take some time and take a step back, do some work. Number 5, my last question. Have you fallen in love with yourself? Yeah. Before anyone can ever really give you the level of love you need to fall in love with yourself. You need to truly adore yourself, accept yourself, love everything about yourself, even the things that you want to change and work on. So even if you're like, you know what, I can be moody and I don't like the fact that I can kind of be snappy at people. It's a part of who you are. You need to be able to accept it. and know that that's a part of your individuality. It doesn't mean that you can't grow and work on becoming a better person. But you need to identify that about yourself and still love yourself. You need to be willing to accept yourself and love the things about you so that no one can ever use those things against you and make you feel insecure and inadequate with those things. So first you fall in love with you. You fall in love with you, then you can fall in love with someone else. I'm going to take these glasses off because they're giving a glare. And I'm done reading. Oh, by the way, this is my Rumi journal. I love Rumi. It's backwards because my webcam, when I start using my Canon, it'll be forward. But anyway, so those are my 5 questions that you should ask yourself. And I think that if you give yourself time to just get a journal, write down the questions, answer one a day, like really be honest with yourself. Don't play yourself by trying not to deal with who you are or deal with where you are. If you really want a lasting relationship, you really want a happy relationship, start there. Start with working on yourself. Otherwise, you're going to keep making the same mistake over and over again. It will be a cycle. And you don't want to enter into that type of cycle. That's not healthy for you. And it's not healthy for the many hearts that you will break as you keep going, instead of taking time to pause and say, let me do some work. Let me figure out myself. If you're already in a relationship and those questions made you give pause and say, you know what, I haven't really let this go. I haven't really moved on. I'm not really happy with myself. I don't really know if I love myself like that. Maybe I'm in this relationship because I'm looking for this man or this woman to love me in a way that I have yet to love myself. The first thing you can do is be honest with yourself. Be honest that that's where you're at. And then start to do work on yourself. Start accepting yourself, flaws and all. Start developing yourself, developing your spirituality, developing your self-care routine. Self-care routine is, I don't care, get some type of physical activity. Eat healthier. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have. Take care of your mind. It's the only one you have. Take care of your spirit because it runs everything else. So I'll cut this short. That's all I have. If you guys have any other questions or topics that you would want me to do videos on, that's awesome. Thank you, everyone who wrote me on my inbox on Facebook. I would prefer that you post it on my YouTube channel, but it doesn't matter because the topics will be addressed. I send God's love to you. Blessings. Thank you all. Have a great day.